Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another 12 by 12 scrapbook layout for the Traveler's Notebook online design team, and I'm going to be scrapping this gorgeous photo of my little boy. This was the day we went for a walk in the park, and it's clearly quite a cold day. He has a jumper on and there are leaves all over the ground, so I thought this was a perfect opportunity to use these leaves that I made recently. If you're a regular to this channel, you may remember a video I did recently where I made these autumn watercolor leaves. If not, I will leave the link to that video in the description box, but I made these watercolor autumn leaves with some watercolor pencils, and now I'm just going to fussy cut them out and have them all ready to use on this scrapbook layout. So there they are, all done. So I'm starting out with a piece of 12 by 12 blank white cardstock, and I'm going to prime it with a thin layer of some white gesso. So you can see that my gesso is slightly off-white. And I'm going to make a bit of a wreath. So I actually started out with this dark green cardstock, but I didn't like how it looked on the background. So I'm switching to this sort of recycled paper sort of style paper from Kaisercraft. This is just in one of the bulk 100 sheet packs that you can get from them. So I am cutting it to letter size because I don't have a Cameo. My Silhouette only takes letter size paper. So what I've done is I have cut my wreath cut file straight down the middle, and I've sort of put that on the page so that it cuts to this size, and it did cut it in half, but that's absolutely fine because I'm going to cover up those seams. So my wreath is going to go just about there, right in the middle of the paper. So I'm going ahead and trimming off a little bit either side of my photo, not too much. And that's pretty much where the photo ends up going, and nestled right to the right hand side of that wreath. So now I'm just getting set up to do a little bit of mixed media. I have some gelatos that I'm going to be using. It's the first time I've used them, and I wasn't really sure what to do with them, to be honest. So I'm just having a bit of a play. And I start out with smudging them on the paper and adding some water, and then I do switch to using them on some packaging. And then I think in the end I just switched to my watercolors because I'm a little bit more comfortable using those. I mean, these were fine. I had a bit of fun using them. I think I just wasn't getting the effect I was after. So starting out with this yellow one, I'm just smudging it on the paper and then adding some water on top with my paintbrush and sort of smushing it around. So I'm just going for some sort of autumny coloured splotches in the background here. So just very similar sort of colours to what is in those leaves. Some yellows and some oranges. So I'm coming in with some of my oranges here. And that orange definitely didn't smudge as nicely as the yellow. Just adding some more water on there. So the reason I put some gesso down first was because I wanted to be able to add some water like this, and it stops the paper from buckling and from just sort of primes the paper and makes it more sturdy. So now I'm adding a bit of navy blue because my son has the blue in his jeans there, and I have a few blue leaves as well. So I'm adding in some of this brighter blue and then adding a touch of black just to tone it down a bit, make it a bit more that navy color. Now I'm going to be coming in with a little bit more of the darker orange, some splatters there. Go. And then some gold Kaisercraft mist. So I'm just going to splatter lots of that around. Nice gold splatters. This is a lovely gold spray if you're looking for a substitute for Heidi Swapp Gold Colour Shine. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but it's a lovely shiny gold. I really like it. So I think I'm pretty much done with my mixed media there. A lot of this gets covered up. So now I'm going to start to map my photo. I'm just going to put in a little bit of vellum first. So it's just clear vellum, plain vellum. Just gives it a bit of a soft border. And now I'm smashing into my Minte by Carola Celebration 6x6 paper pad. Some lovely colours in this. And I'm going to take the chartreuse text paper. Pop that down, peeking out either side. That bit off the bottom. There we go. And then this is the reverse of that sort of craft coloured paper that I used, and it's a cream background with some red text, and there is quite a bit of red in those leaves that I made, so I thought that brought in a little bit of that red nicely. I'm just going to put a little bit up the top there. I think I put a little bit on the other side as well. Yep, there I go. Down in the opposite corner. And I'm adhering everything down with my Scotch ATG. So the 6x6 paper pad that I used and that Scotch ATG is also available from the travelersnotebookonline.com. Just testing that out. I kind of want to tuck it behind that wreath like that. So now I'm going to take my leaves, and these leaves are all made with the Nuvo Brilliantly Vibrant. I think that's what they're called, the Nuvo watercolor pencils anyway. They're also available from the travelersnotebookonline.com. Don't forget, anything you buy from the Travelers Notebook Online, you can get 10% off using my code DTDanni. There are a couple of exclusions, but most of the items will be 10% off using that code. Just gluing that down now. I'm just using a little bit of, it's just tacky glue. I'm just using a paintbrush to get a bit more precision, and I'm just gluing down the center part of the wreath so I can lift those leaves up a little bit later. This is another Kaiser Craft paper just from that random paper pack, and I just really like the rusty sort of orange. It's a very autumn color, and I just want a tiny bit of that poking out from beneath my photo mat there. There we go. And I just tore the bottom to give it a nice sort of rustic element. All right, so glue down time. Just going to tuck it just like that. I really love how that wreath sort of wraps around the photo. There we go, and now I'm going to pop up all my leaves. So I'm just going to go through with my tweezers just because I have acrylic nails in and they couldn't get underneath the leaves very well. So I'm just going through and ruffling all those up, give it lots of lovely dimension. And now I'm going to play with my leaves again. So I did go back and forth a few times actually, taking things on, taking things off rather, putting things back on, but I tend to do that with all my layouts. So here I'm just going to go through and fuss and place everything how I like it. I honestly think I took these on and off probably 4 or 5 times before I finally glued them down. So now you can see I'm going through and gluing down, but I'm just gluing down the stems of those leaves. So down the center and at the bottom, because I'm going to do the same thing with those leaves. I'm going to go through and ruffle all the edges up so they give you lots of lovely dimension. So here's my title, or part of my title anyway. These alphas are from Kmart. They're quite old. I've had them for a little while. So the gold, I'm going to spell out walk and park, and with those little, they're dark grey from Kaiser Craft, those smaller alphas. I will add the rest of my title, but I'm not ready to do that yet. They're stickers, so I'm just sort of getting my spacing there, and I'm just using a clear cello bag that's from Planner Stickers actually. You can just use a bit of packaging, or I've seen people use baking paper, it works too. Just continuing to glue my leaves down. So I know I want my title to go there, so I'm not ready to stick it down, but I also don't want to glue any leaves or any other ephemera over where my title will go. So that's a good way to have an idea of where your title is going to go, but not commit to it. Continuing to glue those leaves. So I wanted 3 clusters. So I've got one at the top of the photo there, one at the bottom right corner of the photo, and then one over to the left-hand side of the page. So I tried to get as many of these leaves in as I possibly could. I used nearly all of them. I'm really, really happy with how many I managed to get in. So I just tried to put in a nice mix of every colour in each cluster. And I'm trying to sneak in a bit of that blue in each cluster as well, because it really draws the eye towards those points. Okay, now I've got some of these leaves. These are sort of golden metallic leaves. And these are from Kmart. They're really, really old. but I've seen them in other dollar stores. You should still be able to get them. And my camera did cut out, but I've sneaked one of those leaves into each of my clusters. And now you can see I'm going through and folding up all the edges, so those leaves all pop up off the page and they look so good and dimensional when I'm finished. Okay, so and now I've got my clusters in. I thought that my wreath looked a bit blah. It's very sort of cardboard looking now, so I'm going in with my gold mist and just colouring. I coloured in the whole thing. I did cut it out because I didn't want to make you watch it. And that just adds a little bit extra. So some more gold. I need some more gold foil. So this is the Happy Planner holiday sticker book or the seasonal sticker book. Everything I will use I will link in the description box so you can go find it, but I just love these gold leaves out of that book, so I popped in one at each cluster. And now I'm using some of these little wood flourishes from Kaiser Craft. So again, I want to get one of these in each of my clusters, so I use that holly branch and that pine cone. And then I'm going to use this little holly sprig and just sort of cover up the berry part so it doesn't look like a Christmas ephemera, even though it is Christmas themed, this pack, but once I get it on the page, it doesn't look Christmas themed. I just love those little pine cones. So now I've decided I am going to put my title in. I'm happy with everything else, so just glued that all down with some tacky glue, and now I'm putting in the rest of my title with those stickers, and my finished title will be a walk in the park. So there's my journaling. I just typed that out on my computer, and that's not cardstock I've typed it out on. It's sort of heavier weight printer paper, so I think it's 120 GSM, something like that, and just cutting into strips and gluing it down. And I can't remember exactly what my journaling says. Just something about we went for a walk in the park that day. My son loves to be outdoors, he always has, and he was just so happy. So I want to add the date, so I'm taking this little tab from Kaiser Craft sticker book. I'm not sure which one it is. It might be Botanica, not 100% sure. I'm just going to cut that in half and use it as a little tab on the side of my photo there, and that's where my date is going to go. Right there. Lovely. And that's finished. So here come the close-ups. I really hope you enjoyed joining me. I absolutely love how this turned out. I'm really, really pleased with it. Don't forget to check out the Traveler's Notebook online. All the links are in the description box along with my discount code. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.